My baby has not eaten in 2 hours. That is why I'm on my way to my second job tonight, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he eats, not the U.S. taxpayers. I am responsible for keeping him fed and clothed.
She really looked into the camera, uniform on, smug smile, and decided to mock struggling parents because her baby hasn't eaten in 2 hours? You work in healthcare. You see hunger. You see exhaustion. You see people choosing between food and medicine every single day, and this is what you post? Millions of people, working people, single parents, veterans, elderly folks, are surviving on food stamps right now, not because they want to, but because everything costs double and wages haven't moved in years. But anyway, let's move on to the crazy reactions.
Tina Coleman, to be exact. It is my job as a beautiful Black woman to make sure that the world knows that you, Tina, as an RN, are okay with children suffering due to malnutrition. Tina Coleman, Tina Coleman. Now, since you had your RN degree and you knew everything, you should have knew that you needed to turn your badge around in every photo. But see, me, I have time. So I scrolled a little bit to April, and I saw that you were silly enough to forget, because people like you always forget. So, Tina, I've noticed that you've worked in Alabama and you've also worked in Kentucky, places where there are large populations of people who do need SNAP benefits and Medicaid. And I would never want someone like you to be working in the healthcare field that had to ever deal with someone who unfortunately needed those benefits. And not only that, as an RN, you should know the signs of a stroke. Have the day you deserve, Tina Coleman.
You can feel the anger, not just at what Tina said, but what she represents. Someone in a position of care, a registered nurse, showing public contempt for people who depend on government aid to survive. That's not just a bad look, that's career-ending energy. The moment you start mocking hungry families while wearing scrubs, you're not just embarrassing yourself, you're embarrassing your entire profession. Nurses are supposed to be the most trusted people in America. You see pain every single day. You comfort it. You don't belittle it. Tina works in states like Alabama and Kentucky, some of the poorest in the country, states where Medicaid, SNAP, and Section 8 are literally lifelines. Imagine being a patient in a hospital, needing help, and realizing the person caring for you thinks you're just lazy for being poor. What do you think? Should people in care professions lose their jobs for publicly mocking the poor? Or does free speech still protect that kind of behavior?
Tina's a registered nurse that works at Crenshaw Community Hospital in Crenshaw County, Alabama. To be confused with Greenbow, Alabama. According to this badge, it also looks like she's worked in home health care at some point. As a healthcare professional myself, the majority of my patients have to utilize such programs like Medicare, Medicaid, food assistance, Social Security, and disability. But how disgusting to see how she really feels about her patients. But Tina, I can't wait to see the grand showcase you win at the end of this around and find out game. And the rest of y'all, have a good day now, okay?
You know, it always amazes me how much people want to go viral so much that they're willing to risk everything they have to do it. Because you came on the internet and you mocked an entire group of people, like millions of people that need help every single day, putting basic food on their table, feeding their kids, meeting life's most basic necessities, and you're a nurse. Did you know that you have ethics that you are required to live under? And I don't know how it works, you swear an oath or whatever, but there are some ethics that you live under as a nurse. And here they are, Provision 1, the nurse practices with compassion and respect for the inherent dignity, worth, and unique attributes of every person. You literally have ethics as a nurse that you swear to that includes all of this stuff right here. And when you come on the internet and you mock humanity, you are directly breaking this. I wonder if your hospital has something similar in their mission statement. Oh, look at that. They do. The mission of blank hospital to care for our community by improving the health and well-being of the people we serve, regardless of their economic or social status, by providing healthcare, disease prevention, and health education services, regardless of their economic or social status. I don't think your hospital agrees with you. Now look, your secret's safe with me. I don't go that far. If you're going to come on the internet and mock people who need help, who actually work in many cases 2 jobs to be able to feed their kids, you're breaking multiple guidelines here. Just wanted you to know that this is not hard. Anyway, I hope you care for your patients that come through your doors more than what you portray on the internet, because I don't think that your employer would really appreciate this, your internet presence and the way that you handle yourself. I'm just taking a wild guess.
This one right here, this isn't just a clapback, this is a full-on ethics check. And honestly, every single word lands. Mocking struggling families isn't just bad taste. It's a violation of what your entire profession stands for. Nurses are supposed to respect the dignity and worth of every person. And the part about the hospital's mission statement, that's the dagger, regardless of their economic or social status. When you post something like that video, you're not just embarrassing yourself. You're undermining your employer, your co-workers, and every patient who trusted you. It's wild how people chase 15 seconds of clout and end up throwing away entire careers. And for what? To look independent on the internet? What do you think? Should hospitals start enforcing social media ethics codes more strictly? Or does that cross into free speech territory? I'm curious where you stand.
And so that RN that's about to lose her job for that video, was it worth it? Was it worth it, honey? Was it worth it? Did you think your job cared about you enough to protect you during this? Did you think you weren't irreplaceable? You're a dime a dozen, honey. And this is the wrong time of year to get fired from your job, babes. Wrong time of year. Y'all let me know when the official update that she lost her job comes in, because I know it's coming. A lot of people have already contacted her employer. She really watched the toast lady have her shit handed to her and was like, you know what? I want that to be me.
You know what is your responsibility as a nurse, Tina? Patient advocacy, emotional support, education, which you lack all three, by the way. Since clearly you missed this portion in nursing school, I'll teach it to you, Tina. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, it is showing how humans have their needs met, starting with the most basic ones at the bottom. This is the foundation of their needs. And they move up a tier each time these are met. You can't jump a tier until the one beneath it has been met. Therefore, we all start with physiological needs. Those are air, water, food, Tina, food. You're asking somebody to go have a second job to fulfill the needs of eating. Notice where a job is. It's up here, employment. It's above physiological needs. But again, remember, they don't have their basic need met for food. Yet you're asking them to jump a tier and go get another job to fulfill the need to eat. The question, why do people have to get a second job to provide food on the table? What? Why do people need to go get another job in order to pay for groceries, Tina? That is an absurd, bootlicking lie that has been sold to you over and over. We should be able to work full time and have our basic needs met. It is beyond disappointing that someone like her went into the nursing profession that is built on a foundation of caring for others, caring for people that you may not understand how they got where they're at. But you are not supposed to judge them. You're supposed to provide help to them. And instead you make a video like that? I don't know. I don't claim you. Anyway, Tina, I heard you lost your job. I hope you're still able to get food on the table. I truly mean that.
It's brutal, but it's also one of the smartest, most well-delivered takedowns I've seen in a long time. This creator didn't just rant, they taught. They broke down the most basic human truth. People can't chase hard work or self-reliance when their basic needs like food aren't even met. You don't shame people for struggling in a broken system. You see them the way you're trained to see your patients. When this person said, you can't jump a tier until the one beneath it is met, that was the entire argument in one sentence. We live in a country where people work 60 hours a week and still can't afford groceries. And instead of compassion, they get lectures from someone in scrubs. What do you think? Did this cross the line into personal? Or was it exactly the accountability moment we needed?
So everyone has seen this very disappointing video by this RN who basically mocks parents who will struggle to feed their kids when SNAP benefit pauses. Since then, that video has either been privated or deleted. I think she took down her account. Rumor has it is that she's lost her job. I'm not sure. But people are asking, what about her license? I already talked about the ANA Code of Ethics in a different video, and also talked about the NCSBN social media guidelines in another video in regards to another incident that happened a couple months ago, but they're both relevant here. So today we will look at the International Council of Nurses as well as Alabama State Board of Nursing because she's from Alabama. International Council of Nurses Code of Ethics for Nurses. Inherent in nursing is a respect for human rights, including cultural rights, the right to life and choice, to dignity, and to be treated with respect. Nursing care is respectful and unrestricted by considerations of age, color, culture, ethnicity, disability or illness, gender, sexual orientation, nationality, politics, language, race, religious or spiritual beliefs, legal, economic, or social status. Nurses sustain a respectful and ethical environment and ensure their conduct does not compromise the reputation of the profession, but enhances public trust and confidence. Now we'll take a look at what Alabama State Board of Nursing has to say about professional conduct. Alabama Board of Nursing Consumer Complaint Guidance. Nurses are expected to practice in a safe, competent, and ethical manner. The following practice issues warrant notification to the ABN. Unprofessional conduct. Alabama Board of Nursing Unprofessional Conduct. Nurses may face discipline if they are found guilty of unprofessional conduct of a character likely to deceive, defraud, or injure the public in matters pertaining to health. Alabama Administrative Code. Any other conduct, whether willful or repeated, which would constitute or cause grounds for denial or termination of a qualification to engage in advanced practice nursing, or which is inconsistent with safe practice or the public's health, safety, or welfare. I know that not every controversial post will lead to a license investigation, but when your public conduct contradicts the core value of your profession, we're going to have this conversation. Freedom of speech does not erase professional accountability. Drop your thoughts in my comment section.
The way this person broke it down was calm, factual, and devastating. They didn't need insults or emotion, mighty. They just read straight from the nursing code of ethics and let the words do the damage. And those words cut deep, because when you look at it line by line, respect for human rights, dignity, unrestricted by economic or social status. You can say what you want, sure, but when your career is built on trust, and your words destroy that trust, the license on your wall suddenly starts shaking. At the end of the day, the message here was clear. If you carry a title that demands empathy, you don't get to mock hunger. You don't get to humiliate struggle. Because the second you do, you're no longer representing healthcare, you're just representing cruelty in uniform. What do you think? Should ethics codes have real consequences for online behavior, or does that open the door to overreach?
I couldn't help but notice that on your profile you've got a GoFundMe page, and that GoFundMe page is for a friend of yours, it seems, a nurse that helped people for many, many years. And she's fallen on some hard times and she needs some work done on her home. Quite a bit of work, including foundation. If she doesn't get that foundation fixed, then her home's going to start to crack and possibly collapse, causing more financial damage. I noticed that in the description of the GoFundMe, it says that she's on disability. Well, my question to you is this: why is it my responsibility to pay for her disability? Not my fault that she's on hard times, that something has happened to her physically that doesn't allow her to get around like she should, that doesn't allow her to work like she should. It's not my fault. I don't care if she worked 30 years. Why is that my fault? Why do I have to help pay for her disability? Why are people having to give to this GoFundMe to help fix her home? Why can't she get out of bed and do it herself? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I'm just using your logic here. She should go get a second job, you know? I shouldn't have to pay for her to sit in her bed and complain about pain. She probably should get up and find a way to feed herself. She probably should get up and find a way to build her own house. She probably should get up and stop begging people for money. Not very nice of me to say those things, is it? Especially considering I don't know anything about her and why she's in that situation. And by the way, I'm going to assume, and this is just my interpretation of your own video, you picked up a black dog for a reason. Once a week I volunteer at a food bank, and this past week was chaos considering that the SNAP benefits were expiring. I will say this, that 75% of the people that asked for food last week were white. You can choose not to believe me, but I'm telling you, that's the truth.
This one right here, it didn't just clap back. It flipped the entire argument on its head. What this person did was pure brilliance. They used the nurse's own words, her same logic, her same tone, and turned it right back at her. This creator didn't just roast her, they made her feel the hypocrisy. The GoFundMe example was the perfect illustration. Compassion isn't conditional. You don't get to decide who's worthy of help. Life hits people differently, sometimes through illness, sometimes through poverty, and the entire idea of a community is that we carry each other when we can. What do you think? Was this the perfect response, or did it cross a line into public shaming? I'd love to hear how you saw it play out. And that's going to wrap it up for today. If you've watched this far, it probably means you still believe compassion and accountability can exist in the same sentence. So hit subscribe, stay grounded, and check out the next video on screen.